Let me see if people can see me. I have my mom talking to me on the other line. Hold on. Let me see. We were having issues with our signal. You can see me now. Good morning. This is what happens when you have to impress your mother with your technology. Your Wi-Fi doesn't work. It is awful, awful, awful. But I want to say welcome to Wednesday Wine with Ana Belaval, broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. These things happen. I apologize for all the craziness. I think it's because I'm a little nervous for my special guest today. Let me tell you first about the beautiful flowers behind me. These are from my friends at Blossoms Anytime. You see that vase? Today we're going to talk about that. This is a lesson I learned from Mami, and you heard her say it if you saw our promo yesterday. This vase, this flower vase, was made by my grandmother Ana. When my grandmother Ana retired from being a university professor in Puerto Rico at the age of 60 something, Mami will correct me if I'm wrong, she took up art and she started painting and she started doing pottery. And that is one of the vases that she made. And a long time ago, my mom said, "Do you want it?" Which is what my mom does. I swear, when my parents pass away, God forbid, many years from now, knock on wood, my mom's going to be left with maybe 2 place settings and 2 glasses of wine for her and my dad. She sent it to Chicago. And today my friends at Blossoms Anytime made this beautiful arrangement. And I wanna really thank them because I knew how special this is for me. My apologies. Where are you calling? Where are you connecting from? Cherville, Indiana. I know Puerto Rico because I just have a lot of people that want to see my mom in action, and my cousins are connecting, so I'm going to give you a little time because I know that I was having issues and I left you on. Thankfully I didn't curse. I think this is my parents revenge for the promo I put earlier of them trying to figure out how to get on. Par for the course. And Pat, of course, I'm going to say good morning because when I get nervous, I go back to good morning because that's my safe zone. So let me tell you about my mom. My mom, Ana Victoria, was born and raised in San Juan, Puerto Rico, was a principal of a school by age 25. But she married her high school sweetheart, my father, and decided that having children and raising a family was very important for them. My mom struggled with getting pregnant, and when she finally got pregnant with my brother, she stopped working. But our joke is that if my mother would have continued working, she would have been more successful than my dad. Shh, don't tell him that. But I think my mother is a powerhouse. She was a stay-at-home mom, but gave me the biggest life lessons when it came to career and being a strong, independent woman. So I think she was ahead of her time. So I've asked my mom to join me today to give me the 5 most important life lessons that she's learned in her last 81 years of life. So with no further ado, here's Anavi Belaval.
Sorry.
Papi, ya empezó.
I know, it's going to be a little bit hard. It is.
If you heard a voice behind my mother, that's my father, who is like, my mom is the light of his life. And because now my mom needs a little bit of help because her health is compromised. Now my dad monitors her. I call him the ankle monitor, but it is a beautiful thing to see because my parents have been together how many years?
60.
60 years. Is that counting your boyfriend, girlfriend?
No, that's 5 more years.
Mira, Ana Cristina. Hi, Titi Abby.
Hi.
Natalie. Hola. And Mary. Yay. Todd. My mom, I have to explain to you, is a superstar among my friends. They all think she's one of the smartest women they know, and they listen to what my mother says. She would say her children don't, but that's not true, right, Mama?
She would say what?
That I'm the only one who doesn't pay it. My brother and I are the only ones who don't listen to you.
No, you've listened, and your brother has listened. I have the children that I want. But I'm not going to speak about raising children today.
No.
Because that was long, long ago. Adios. That was long,
Adios.
long time
Adios
ago.
means goodbye. That was a long time ago. So
I know, and it's different. The raising children today is absolutely different. I'm going to speak about marriage.
mhm,
3 things in marriage: love,
mhm.
communication, and understanding.
Can you tell that my mother is a teacher? She went straight to her notes and is ready to teach. Okay, so you want to start with marriage since we were complaining about dad being in the way?
Hmm.
Okay, what are your lessons when it comes to marriage?
Well, first of all, when you fall in love and you have a long relationship, you
Mhm,
have to be sure there are 2 different loves. There's a love of wanting to make a person the best he can be or the best she can be, or wanting to have him as a companion for the rest of your life, or for 20 years or for 10 years, whatever. But it all isn't physical. Some people are absolutely in love and they hold hands and they kiss and they everything. And then 3 or 4 years after having a child, of course, 3 or 4 years, they're tired.
mhm.
She didn't turn out the way he wanted. He didn't turn out the way. No, no, no. Once I believe, and I still believe, even now, that the things are so different, that you decide, if you fall in love, you may have to make sure it's not the sexy love. It's love for the best, to make the best uh,
Life partners.
life partner.
Mhm,
When I fell in love with your father,
mhm.
and he fell in love with me, we were together. We wanted to be together. If he found a job, well, I would back him. If I find a job, he would back me. Friends, let's put it that way, being friends. And
Mhm,
that's one of the things that bothers me at this age, which
mhm.
is not, I'm not supposed to be bothered by anything because I don't know anything. You get to the point where you don't know anything because, no, no, don't laugh. Generations change. I mean, my
Yeah, but
mother,
see, no, mommy, I have you on Facebook Live talking about life lessons. So I think that at this age, you're a wealth of wisdom.
well, thank you. There must be some Chinese in you, but because that's
What? Why?
because the Chinese people admire their elders very much. They
Hmm.
go to them. No,
Hmm.
but thank you. But I know that many people say, "Oh, that's my mother. She's old-fashioned." But as I said in that luncheon that
Hmm.
you and my niece and my daughter-in-law gave me, uh, you have to think about yourself. You have to think about your future. You have to think about what you want to become. And I'm not talking about 10 years, 12 years. I'm talking about 20, 25, 30. Because
Hmm.
nowadays people marry later. So they have, I was 21, your father was 22. And, and that's the way it was. We were just lucky because I have so many girlfriends that are divorced. We were very lucky. But then it was something, I don't know, it was like,
Was it hard work?
yes.
Was it ever work that you wanted to throw in the towel?
Well, there were 3 or 4 situations in which if my way wasn't done, that would have been the end. And the same the
Hmm.
other way. There were some things
Hmm.
that weren't negotiable.
Hmm.
No?
Yeah.
Like your father
Yeah,
didn't want,
because you believe if something doesn't work, you're not against divorce or anything like that.
I'm not against the what?
You're not against divorce or anything like that.
No, 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 no. I'm
No.
not against divorce. It's just that divorce, I understand from my friends, leaves a big, big hole in your heart.
Hmm.
A sense of impotence, a sense of not feeling that you are worth something. It's really, really big.
Hmm.
It's like a death. It's like a
Hmm.
death.
Hmm.
And if you don't want to go through that, don't do it. I mean,
Hmm.
don't be overwhelmed if he has a beautiful car, he has a beautiful body, he comes from a beautiful family. You don't marry because of that.
No.
marry because you really want to live your life with that man.
Swearing Mary told my Amelia to marry for money, not for love.
That's exactly what I'm saying for you not to do. That's,
Swearing Mary and I are like, that's highly overrated. The next one has to have a lot of money. I don't agree. That's Swearing Mary joking because Todd is watching and she loves her Todd. We all know that. She doesn't regret it one bit. But she told Amelia, my daughter, and my daughter will never forget. Well, Mary says I should marry for money. That love is highly overrated. I have to tell you one, guys, you don't understand. If you understand what my mom's talking about, leave me your message right here. I wanna see how tell her how wrong she is that we don't think that people her age are full of wisdom and understand us, because I think that life is very different now, but the core is kind of the same. The core values, it's like Papi has always told me, yes, I know the world seems horrible right now, but it's because we get a lot of information. These monstrosities could have happened and we probably didn't know they were happening, right? Because we didn't have social media, we didn't have all that. Mami, when I got married, you told me something that freaked me out, and I understood it later in life. Te asustaste, te lo vi en la cara. You
see, I don't
told
know what
me,
you're coming with.
sí, mija. You told me that some years you love more, some years you love less, and that love fluctuates. And I said, how is she telling me this? I'm about to marry the man of my dreams. And I've been married almost 19 years this December. And I totally get what you're saying now.
You know? Well, I'm glad. Because
Hmm.
your teacher told you to marry somebody that made you look elegant. That was the advice you got from your teacher at APS. And I said,
Yeah.
oh my Lord, this is exactly the wrong thing.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, what marry means is that when your father and I got married, we just were out of college. I mean, that was that
Hmm.
summer. And I know my mother wanted to go to choose silverware for me and fancy things. And I said, you know, Mom, and that caused a big thing in the family. What I need is a mop, a broom, a pail. I need those things because I don't have anything. And that's what you need
Hmm.
to in a household. Well, that caused a lot of problems. That was bad. I shouldn't have said that.
Hmm.
But I got everything I needed.
Yeah.
Needed, really needed. Not
Yeah.
not things to put away in a. But things are different now. Things you
Yeah.
have those things now when you get married because you've had an apartment for a long time. Things are totally different now. But you have to
Okay.
keep your feet on the ground.
What? Okay. So that's marriage. Do you want to move on now to children or professional life?
I wanted to go to things that are unexpected and make you rearrange your
Yes,
daily.
ma'am. There you go. Unexpected moments on your daily life. What do you
Uh-huh.
want to say about that? Yeah.
Well, that is something like the death of someone, an illness like the Parkinson's I have, uh, a child that has problems, uh, your husband losing a job, things that change your everyday life and make things more uncomfortable for you. The routine is suddenly broken up. Those are very, very difficult problems.
The coronavirus.
Yeah, that's driving us insane. Yeah, the coronavirus, things like that. And you have to adjust. You have to adjust. And that is, if there's love and there's companionship, you have to adjust. Um, I have two words here that I wanted
Hmm.
to let you know.
Hmm.
I mentioned that already. I said there's love, communication,
Yep.
understanding.
Hmm.
My girlfriend Annie's grandmother used to say, in a marriage, there's one that loves more and one that needs more.
Okay.
You have to identify that immediately. One that loves more and one that allows you to love him because he needs you or she needs you. It can be the other way.
Mommy.
When something like this comes up, when something like a change in the daily routine because of the things I mentioned. Um, you have to sit down, you have to discuss it, and you have to slowly start to develop the new plan.
Look,
You're going
like Mary says, bad surprises. You have to adjust.
to have surprises. You have to adjust. I can't see what they write because
Too
it's
small. I know.
overwhelming. Just to be sitting here is overwhelming. So I can't. I haven't spoken English since I last saw Steve.
No, and no, and you haven't been able to. I didn't let you warm up with Steve
No,
ahead of time.
no. And I have your father here watching everything I'm doing. Maybe he interrupts in a little while.
Ya mismo.
Yeah. Okay, now let's go to children.
Children. Oh, that's your favorite topic.
No. I wanted to mention for the
Mhm.
unexpected thing, you
Uh-huh.
have to accept it. There's a
Mhm.
time of negation, you say? Negación.
You in denial.
There's a time, there's a period of time that you are in denial, but you have to learn to accept it. You have to analyze
Mhm.
why you feel terrible. Why me? And all those things come up. And I'm not speaking about from one day to the other. This changes. It
Mhm.
takes a while. It takes a long while. Now about children, I'm not speaking about raising them because I I believe in discipline and
You're still exhausted from
I don't
raising us.
spank. No, I didn't spank you. I just looked at you and the most I done
Espérate.
told you here. No, I didn't take a belt and spank you.
No, 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 no.
I
Pero
didn't take.
una nalgadita, un apretoncito,
No, no,
un
I didn't.
cocota.
No, no. But here in Puerto Rico we have a chancleta. I'll show you what a chancleta is. This is a chancleta.
Oh,
This
you're wearing one right now.
is
Fantastic.
a chancleta. You see that? I don't know how
Sí.
you say that in English.
A
Slipper.
chancletation. A slipper.
Slipper. Can you see it? Okay, you're sitting there
Sí.
at the phone, you're having a drink with
Mhm,
your girlfriend, you're just talking
mhm.
to your husband, and they're fooling
Mhm.
around over there. You just pick this up, throw it.
Tuácata.
It has the GPS, and it knows exactly where it's going. Throw it, and the kids know that they have to cut it out because then you are coming over.
Mhm,
And that's not done today. That's not done today. Like I took my other granddaughter to a shopping center, and she wouldn't give me her hand, and she just wouldn't. And I decided I was going to let her know that I grabbed her by the this arm, and I told her in a very unfriendly voice, if you don't hold my hand when we get off the car in the parking and walk in there with my hand holding yours, we are never coming back to this place. And I used to take care of her. She's 19 this December, and if we go to the shopping center, she gets off the car, holds my hand. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. You have to be respectful.
my kids don't mess around with her either. My kids do not mess
No,
around. I
you have to be respected by your children.
yeah.
And one thing that really worked
Mhm,
was uh, backing your children, understanding your children. Um, when they're 18, when they're 15, when they're 20, when they're 46, you have to understand they're living another life. It's not your life. They think differently from you. Um, I was brought up that way. I had a mother she was a scientist, and my father was a lawyer. They weren't into nice dresses. And, I mean, they
mhm,
dressed very nicely. Don't get the wrong idea. But evening gowns, evening galas, things like that. I loved
mhm.
that when I was 15 and 16 and 17. I loved that. And my mother couldn't believe that. But she packed me up. She got my grandmother to make all the dresses, and we went to everything. When I was 14, she wasn't religious. When I was 14, I wanted to become a Catholic. She sat down with me. I spoke to her And she said, all right, I'll back you up, but you have to be a good one. And don't walk in here complaining about the priest or saying anything about the nuns. If that's what you want, I'll back you up. And she backed me up till the day she died. Without
Yeah.
fighting with her. But I respected her. I didn't come home and say, you're wrong, I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
I respected her. And she respected me.
There was something very interesting. Yes, Pat. I'm also some friends educated me about the chancla. Pat Camarillo saying that they're grateful the way their parents raised them. So am I. I have to tell you, I was very shocked. The last time I was in Puerto Rico, the time before, my niece was there, my daughter was there, and you and Dad and I were having lunch, and we were talking about gender and sexuality and gender fluidity. And my daughter and my niece are very in tune and connected with that. And we were trying to explain it to my mom and dad. And of course, my dad was like confused. And my mother said, listen, Mario, all we have to do is learn and educate ourselves. This is a different generation. You just listen. And we're in our 80s. We already lived our lives and we just listen and educate ourselves. We can't expect life not to change or continue.
Right. That's the way it is.
I thought that was amazing of you at your age to not be like, oh my God, esto loco, what are they talking about? I'm not calling him, her, they.
You have to, you have to remember and always when you're with your grandchildren and your children, how you would have felt. I remember I had to be chaperoned whenever I went out to a dance or with your father. Chaperone. Mm-hmm. And chaperone is your mother in the car and your mother in the dance. And
serious.
Period. I mean, that's chaperoning. Mm-hmm. Absolutely incredible. I would have hated you to have to do that. I would have hated that.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can't put up with it, I had to learn to put up with it. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing. What about a bikini? The first time you bought a bikini, it took me about a week to allow you. And when I saw you with a bikini, I went into my room to cry for about an hour. Now this time when I took my granddaughter to buy a bikini, she walked out and I said, take a picture, send it to your mother. If your mother says it's perfect, I'll buy it. But hey, it's with the times.
Thank God for my cousin Vanessa, who's watching right now, who talked you off the ledge and said, Titi Avi, let her wear the bikini.
Vanessa. Mm-hmm. Vanessa, mm-hmm. And I think it was Elaine, the other one that said, let her wear the bikini because she's going to go to her friend's house. And she's going to wear somebody else's bikini. That's the thing. You have to do, when you came to us and said, I just got a job in Chicago, and you had come home from college, and it was so hard for us to have both of you that it's very hard to be away from you. And it's very hard to be away from my son for a week. He has to come at least once a week, or I call him. I have to, because it was very hard to have both of you. So you had told us you were never going to go back to cold weather, and you were never going to be away from us. And two months later, I left for Chicago with 7 suitcases, an address in a little piece of paper where we were staying, and you had accepted the job in Univision. I set up a little apartment for you. I called your father up and I said, literally, go to the bank and throw money inside a bag and come on up. And he came up and we left you. We left you after 2 weeks. And your father cried all the way to the airport.
Oye, no te hagas, because you cried too.
Oh, yeah, but I don't cry in front of the taxi driver. I mean, I had him trying to help him out.
But I have to say, I hope that Berta Castañer is watching. Berta was was my first boss here in Chicago, the woman who kickstarted my career, and like a second mom to a lot of us, because I moved to Chicago when I was 21. And my mom and dad were so upset because they were leaving me here. They were not showing, but Berta and Carlos, may he rest in peace, knew it. and they said, and what did they say to you? How did they make you feel?
Carlos called Mario and said, we had just met them. We have been with them maybe 2 or 3 times, but they
Yeah.
know how parents feel. And he called Mario and said, you go home and you make sure that you're not leaving her alone. I'm here. I'm here to take care of her. Well, that was, and the first time you were sick, you called and said, Mom, I have a cold. And I said, well, I saw a place in Chicago that said, a what? Call a doctor.
1-800-doctor.
1-800-doctor. Well, call 1-800-doctor. And you called and you went and you got over it. Así que we moved through that. And I know, but you're not going to start crying now. But maybe the three of us can end up crying.
Oh yeah, this is the other thing. She says there's a time to cry and a time to not cry.
See, I don't have that. See, that's one of my lessons. Uh-huh. I
I
got
just
that.
have, well, one life lesson that I've learned when you were saying that you have to adapt is that I didn't think my life was going to take me so far away from you guys, right? That was certainly not plan A. And I think that I have been very lucky, and I have learned through you guys that your support and your idea that you were always there is what allowed me to earn my wings and fly and dream big, and I thank you. I thank you and my entire family for that, but I thank you and Papi for that, and I know it hasn't been easy. um you guys had us really for your generation late in life, so that is always, this idea. And because I haven't seen you guys in person for a while, I think that's why I'm a little touchy feely. Now, I was saying that you were a principal of a school at age 25, and a very successful young person. And I grew up, guys, with this woman telling me, you need to have a career. You need to have a career, even if you work part time. And I know that Mareli and I know that Vanessa, who are both listening here, and all my friends that are stay at home moms have heard it from my mother. Get a part time job. Go do something. Keep your career, whatever you study. For somebody who was so proud of her family and who raised us, and you were so committed, you really, really wanted me to live a different life.
Yes, because I should have gone when you went to school, when you went to kinder, I should have gotten a part-time job or maybe some charity. Because when life comes to a halt and you leave, that empty nest syndrome is easier if you have a career of your own. When you get to be my age and your husband was a success, well, he has a lot of people that sees him and says, we miss you and all these things. Who misses me? The bums on Fernandez Unco Street who say hi when they see me. Because
Because she used to feed the homeless. Yeah.
I worked there for many, many, many years. And I'm happy I did it. But I should have gone back to teaching, or I should have gone back to being a doctor's secretary or something like that. I should have done it because it makes you feel more realized when you're older. It makes you feel like I
And
did
not
something.
only that, look what Angela is saying. She's like, Amen. Keeping a part time job helped me to become a single mom when I needed it to. And it was huge because she still had a career to go back to, a job to go back to when she needed to.
Your husband will respect you.
Hmm.
I mean, you have to know what kind of husband you have because there's some husbands that don't. There's some men that don't want their wives to work, and
Yeah, like the one sitting next to you.
uh, but times have changed. Times have changed. You see in politics, you see women that are senators and women that are running to be a Supreme Court and all these things, and they have 5 children. And I was wondering who's taking care of them.
Well, who was taking care of your grandchildren when I was gallivanting around town?
When? Well, your husband.
And Papi would always say, "Ay, el pobre."
I know, but men nowadays help more.
Yeah.
But well, that's the way I feel. I mean, that's not the perfect thing. Some marriages cannot handle that, but some marriages. That's one of the things that you have to figure out when you are dating someone, or
Hmm.
when you are living with someone with the idea of marrying. You have to see how they handle your independence. But it's wonderful to have a professional life. It's wonderful to feel that you're worth something. Remember,
All
here
right.
in the Latin countries, you belong to.
Yeah.
You're
Tú eres
Ana
de
de
Díaz de
Belaval.
Belaval. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And nowadays things have changed. You can stay with your own, with your single name. You don't have to use it. It's good times, I mean, you might say mommy is crazy, but for the woman, it has come a long, long way.
I know. I know. And I know that you've always said that if you had had the opportunities we would have had, it would have been a different tune, right?
Yeah, but your father didn't want me to go and work.
Yeah. And family was very important. People make choices. And that's the good thing about the feminist movement, that we are all allowed to make choices now. Before we couldn't.
No, but that didn't bother me that much.
No, I
I mean,
know.
now that I'm older, I see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, I see it.
And one thing you didn't say about marriage, and I think it goes into aging too, because you wanted to talk about aging. So let's go to that, which is our fifth one. This is my mom, Anavi, live from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Um, you always made your marriage a priority.
Hmm.
And I've said it so much. My mom was a wife first and a mother second. That's what my aunt said, but I never ever felt that way. Really, I know that Tata told you that once, but I never really felt that. I didn't feel that you um, ignored us or neglected us just because you needed to be my dad's wife. And I think it was a beautiful example. I think it's something I try to follow. Um, and now, in your later years, with the empty nesting and with aging, you've been able to have a solid union.
But we had a solid union all the time.
Uh-huh.
Uh, there's some things you have to give up. I mean, people work, but then there are other things that they have to do
Mhm.
for the marriage to work too. I mean, this
Mhm.
is not a free for all. You go and do what you want, and I go and do what I want. No, no, no. But nowadays, you people are. It's much better, because if you feel like seeing a girlfriend that is in town, Steve will stay with the kids so that you can go and see the girlfriend.
Mhm. Mhm.
No, 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 no. In my days, I just wouldn't have thought of going to see with a girlfriend alone in the
Yeah.
evening. I would have had to go with my husband,
Mhm.
or I would have had to invite her to my house. And I was modern because I used babysitters.
Mhm.
Because my mother refused to take care of children. It made her very, very uh,
Nervous.
nervous. Así que my, my daughter-in-law said that I would be in jail today if I had left, because I left it with 13 and 15-year-olds. I mean, you were asleep. But Puerto Rico is small. I could get home in 15 minutes. It's not so bad. No.
um, Aging. What has uh, getting older taught you? Papi says that aging is not for wusses.
No. Well, it has taught me that you have to learn to behave, in quotation marks.
Mhm.
You can't be complaining all the time about nowadays things are done different. In my times we did this. You people are wrong. That really gets it. When your children come over, you have to be careful not to complain to them, because then they don't look forward to coming to see you. I mean,
Mhm.
there's sometimes you complain.
Mhm.
There's sometimes you complain. Uh, when they come over to see you, it's been 2 weeks or 3 weeks I haven't seen you, or five, whatever. Don't do what my grandmother used to do. Oh my Lord, look who's arriving. I thought I'd never see you again. And I have been there a month before. You know, those things you just don't do.
Yeah.
Things you just don't do. And you try
I,
to
I yes.
be as independent as much as you can be.
You also wrote something that I really like, which is make it easy for the people that are helping you.
Yes, because I had older people in that I had to take care of. Because the generation of my mother's generation had to take care of economically and physically and emotionally of her mother, her father, her aunt, who was a widow, and all they had 4 children, and the 4 of them had to pitch in so that they could have no social security. Like nowadays, I mean, these are things that were, in terms of my generation,
Hmm.
don't want don't want it to happen to you people, that you have to sustain us,
Support you.
support us. And I had I am the only woman in the family. I have 6, 1 brother, 5 cousins, male cousins, and myself. So I'm like the big shot. What do you think, Anna? What do you think, Anna? What should we do, Anna? Do we put her in this home? Do we do this? Do we get? And my aunts would, oh, they would complain all the time. So
Well,
I wrote,
watch out because our cousin Setita's watching, and I don't think Tia Madeline was a pain.
no, Tia Madeline wasn't a pain. Madeline had a daughter-in-law, which is
Yeah,
Cecilia's mother,
yeah.
who I will never forget what she did for me once. Christmas Eve, the great aunt was in the hospital. Who gets a nurse Christmas Eve? And Citita got the nurse Christmas Eve. No, I have no complaint. In fact, Aidecita has been a cousin to me, has been, and Sylvia, Roger's wife, I have no complaint. No complaint. They they're incredible. They just say, Anavi, Anna, don't you? You're not alone. We're here with you.
It's interesting because for all those guys, because I know that they'll watch this, or at least Rebecca and Nelly, they'll all watch this. You are like you are these women's sisters-in-law, and you take that role very serious.
I'm
And
the mother-in-law.
you're the sister-in-law to all those women who because they were all men in the family. And then to my dad only had 2 brothers, and my mom became sisters to my aunt Mary Lou, may she rest in peace, and my aunt Tata, so much so that people think that those are the sisters and the brothers are just in law, they're not blood.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true. So what I
yeah.
did
You
was, when I was like 50, I sat down with a composition notebook. You people don't know, black and
no
white,
they uh-huh.
and I wrote letter to myself. When you are
Well,
70, cut it out. When you are this, do that. All that is written. I have it there. And then I wrote a letter to you and your brother. There are pages written there of how, if you have to put me in a home, make sure it's a nice one, not the one in Puerta de Tierra.
because it
And
smells like pee.
don't feel guilty, and don't hear what people have to say. Oh yeah, and this is the way you live your life. I have a notebook there. Porque people, when they become old, they think that, that you people don't need, that you should be here with us, that you shouldn't have left because we're here. No, you have to
I,
realize.
mommy, look at this message. This is from Virginia. I am 85, and your mother has reminded me of what is my business and what is not. How to keep family and friends look forward to seeing me so they don't feel it's a lot of trouble in all directions. Thank you. I just came across this video and I am so blessed to have. May God continue to bless your mother and father. What a legacy. Oh, Miss Virginia, thank you. Thank you so, so much. Thank you. Did you see that? How beautiful?
Yeah, no. I have to look for that notebook because I think it's about time that you read it. And I had to read it myself because who knows how I bothered you.
No, and listen to this. This is the other thing the two of them do. And Papi's there, and we're finishing up so he can chime in. We can allow him to come in. Pero no, porque yo no sé si mami tiene ganas.
See?
These two do, you know how families do fire drills and escape exits, and this is what you do in, in terms of emergencies? My mom and dad hit a certain age where we do death drills. And I have to laugh because these two people, my brother and I, we are creative people. We don't, math is not our thing, but we married people who are very straight laced and know what they're doing. So my mom and I are constantly reminding us what we do the moment they passed. Where do we have to go? Who do we have to talk to? Where's the money? And then my mom, as you've seen before, walks me all over her house telling me what I can sell for good money, what I should keep, who should I give to who. She has taken control, even though she has Parkinson's, of her aging without becoming a burden, and without, going back on her word, because she's always told us, the moment you see that I become a burden or I am not helping facilitate my care, you tell me and I'll adjust.
Mm-hmm. Because I went through four of those. Mm-hmm. It was my aunt, Aidecitas. ¿Quién?
Marta Toro, que qué guapa estás.
Ay, Marta Toro. Mm-hmm. She's my first cousin's daughter. Yeah.
Twice removed.
No, la hija de Dora. Where was I?
No sé. That you went through you went through four people who were older.
It was my grandmother, my grandfather, my great aunt, my aunt Aida, my aunt Angelica, and very little because Tia Madeline had Citita. I mean,
Aidecita.
The Angelica, very little because they walked into
she had Sylvia.
More.
Yeah.
But those aunts and the Ida, I used to go see her every 2 weeks and very close. It's a very close-knit family.
It is. It really is. Mira, Vanessa Imerich sends you a hug and she says, que bello tu collar. I love the topic.
Thank you.
So if you have any questions for my mother, go ahead and ask them now. We will read all your comments. I'm sure we will, because she loves when you guys comment. And I appreciate you joining us this afternoon. And otherwise, you are doing okay, Mommy, right? Are you in a shutdown in Puerto Rico?
Yes, we're in a shutdown in Puerto Rico. Yes, we are. But they open now the public transportation. That's a big thing. And that's not going to work. Yeah, but your brother does the food shopping for us, and he does a couple of things. And your sister-in-law does other things and got me somebody to come and do my hair and come and do my nails. And see, both of them have done. And you send things from Chicago that I can't find here and I can't order.
We're her Amazon, pretty much.
Mareli is
you see? Amazon. Oh, Mareli is Mareli's right there. That's her comment right there. She's sending you lots of hearts. My mom has how many godchildren?
Say 11.
Listen, it is hard to live up to my mother's standard. I call her the Puerto Rican Jackie O. She takes care of the house. She takes care of my dad, my brother, and me. And then she had all these godchildren. And when my mom christened you, you were in for life. And it could have been confirmation, which I think they call your sponsor. And my mother will be right there with you. And there's so many people who can attest to that. And my girlfriends text with my mom. And I know how lucky, I know you guys always tell me, I know how lucky I am to have this relationship with my mom, which I can just, if I can have a quarter of this with my daughter, I will feel very lucky. But you know what, Mom? I was going to send you a picture, but I didn't. This morning, she left me a Post-it note, Amelia. And it said, "Good morning, Mama. I love you. And I want to thank you for reading my poems. I really never share those kinds of things, but I am so happy that you like them."
Well, you put that away and you keep it. And like Tata told me, whenever you're furious or whenever you're down, you pull it out and you read it.
I put it in my wallet, mommy.
In your wallet. That's where I have a picture of you. In your wallet.
And okay, so someone has a question. What is your favorite gift from me? I myself. That's enough.
You've always said it.
Por favor.
You've always
Por
said it.
favor.
No, you always. The greatest for you.
From
Well,
me.
your father and I appreciate very much that you haven't changed at all. You are the same girl that left the house. You come back and you behave the same way. We've never heard, no, because now I have to do this, no, because you haven't allowed all your success to blow up your mind. We wouldn't have allowed it, but we haven't had to mention it either because it is. Your father wants to charge you for all the material you take home when you leave. No.
Mira, mami, Kay wants to know what is your routine for your face porque tienes ese cutis.
Dr. Murad. AM and PM, and I wash with the same soap that I take a bath, which is Irish Spring, which everybody screams, but that's what I use.
Dios mío.
No, not really. It's genetics.
Plus, you drink an obscene amount of water.
I drink an obscene amount of water. Yes, that's right. That's true. But I haven't worn makeup since March. I just don't wear lipstick, and maybe because when you wear the mask, the lipstick stains the mask inside. I have nice little masks.
So there you go, Dr. Murad, Kay. And facials. She does facials too.
No.
No, ya no?
That was Magali, and if I've had 10 in my life, I don't like people touching me. No. I never had a massage either. No. I have a trainer now, and she says, today, you haven't said a word. And I said, no, I don't say a word. You tell me what to do, and I'll do it because this is serious. We talk after the class.
We talk after.
26. I said, Nena, you're 26. I can be your grandmother. I can be your parents' mother. Así que, take it easy.
That's what we say to Natalie Stephanie all the time.
Natalie, your producer.
My producer. Mommy, one more thing that I wanted you to talk about. Your friends are very important to you.
See, life without friends is very sad. Friends that back you, friends that don't
support you.
That support you. I know that Kitty has this word she said, it's true friends, safe friends.
Safe friends.
A friend that you can go. I mean, there's some things that you just don't say. There's some private things that happen in your marriage or that happen in your family that you just don't say. But you usually have to have 2 or 3 friends that you can call up either crying or ready to kill somebody and say everything you feel, and you're sure that she's not going to hang up and call somebody else. Those are safe friends. I have about 4 or 5 of those. And then I have many people that call me for advice. It drives your father insane.
Because no one calls him?
No, they call him. No.
They call him.
No, but it's, yes, they call me.
Bueno, papi, asómate. Show your face so people can see you. Because I know how proud you are of Mommy and how much you credit her for.
Something I had to.
How to do now? What do we do?
Échate para allá.
No, I go like. So here.
Sit on that bed, papi. Sit on the bed. Ahí está.
It's a sofa.
Oh, sorry.
She said that, because she never worked, well, professionally,
Uh-huh.
housewife, and mother, which are very big, serious jobs.
Mhm.
But Anavi said that she doesn't have a profession to say that she belonged to that profession for
Mhm.
years, that nobody recognizes her, because from time to time somebody might remember where I work, something like that. But the truth of the matter is that your mother is, in addition to a teacher, a mother, and friend, a psychologist, uh, a non-registered psychologist, but nevertheless, she has, I venture to say, between 6 and 7 cases. She has a heavy caseload, and she takes her job very seriously, and she does a great job.
Well, I'm empathetic. I'm empathetic.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, empathy is what we really need now. I love both of you. Thank you for being with us. Stay on the line. So after I say goodbye, don't, o sea, no apaguen esto para poderlos saludar cuando termine.
Hey, you forget your English, huh?
And if we were able to remind you of the relationship you had with your parents and you're missing them, I know how blessed I am, and I'm glad that maybe we could remind you of those wonderful times. And if you're watching us on YouTube, leave us a message and tell us what you thought about my mom's 5 top life lessons. All right. So have a wonderful night, everybody. I'm going to let you go because we went really long, and I appreciate you being here.
Night.